morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, August 30th, 2013. There will be no broadcast on Monday in observance of the U.S. National Labor Day holiday. No broadcast Monday. Yesterday in Parliament in London, the House of Commons overrode Prime Minister Cameron's request for a authorization to bomb Syria, or at least participate in an attack with the United States and France against the Assad regime. It was a bit of a black eye for Prime Minister David Cameron. Very quickly, the French President Francois Hollande indicated that he is not bound by any such constraints and is willing to push ahead with plans to strike Syria for allegedly using chemical weapons. President Obama released classified information to key members of the U.S. Congress last night. It's going to be released today in a redacted version to the public. President Obama indicates that he too is willing to act, if only with the French. There's been a bit of a pushback now anonymously from American military sources, as reported in the Washington Post, warning against getting involved in an open-ended military mission in Syria, with the suggestion that even a limited cruise missile strike could end up provoking more of a reaction than the benefits that could be obtained by hitting Syrian military sites. The British are going to try again after the UN report is released on the determination whether or not the Syrians did use chemical weapons. That's supposed to come out on Tuesday. However, today the UN inspection team suddenly returned to its hotel. The motorcade had just left the hotel, and they turned right around and went back to the hotel again and went back into the building. There's no reason been given for why that turnaround occurred. Goldman Sachs has released a report identifying the entry of alternative capital into the reinsurance industry as one of 8 disruptive themes in business today, which it believes has the potential to reshape its sector and command an increasing level of attention from investors over years to come. Goldman looks at these 8 themes through the lens of creative destruction, a convention thought up by the economist Joseph Schumpeter, which describes the way that economic development can arise out of the destruction of a prior economic order. The 8 themes, in addition to alternative capital, were cancer immune therapy, e-cigarettes, LED lighting, natural gas engines, software-defined networking, 3D printing, and big data. Evidence that alternative capital is already proving disruptive for reinsurance companies is clear, with the mid-year reinsurance renewal showing the impact it has had on pricing, also forcing some reinsurers to fight back by lowering their own premiums. Next week, or actually the week after next, in Monte Carlo, when we're there, we expect to be talking to a number of reinsurance people about the effects of insurance-linked securities in the market. It will be the biggest topic on the agenda. 3 people in Taiwan perished as a result of heavy rains spawned by a destructive tropical storm today. The storm, called Kong-rey, battered Taiwan with more than 19 inches of rain, mainly on the heavily populated western coast before it moved toward Japan. One of those killed was a man who was thrown into a river from his skidding motorbike while he was out riding a motorbike in a 19-inch rainstorm is beyond me. More news on the suicide of Pierre Wathier in Zurich, the chief financial officer of the Zurich insurance company, who was found dead in his home on Monday. We announced yesterday that the chairman of Zurich, Joseph Ackerman, who was the former CEO of Deutsche Bank, had resigned. Now it appears that, in fact, Mr. Wathier had left a suicide note. In the suicide note, he named Ackerman personally as having pressured him. Mr. Wathier's widow is also said to have accused Zurich's management of driving her husband, quote, into a corner, and that Mr. Ackerman's, quote, tough management style had been a key factor in his death. An investigation has been ordered by the new chairman, Mr. Martin Sen, to review the management techniques used at Zurich Insurance. The stock price has indeed taken a big hit. It's dropped about 9% in the past 6 months. At least 24 people have been killed in the capital of Mali, a city called Bamako, by flash floods from torrential rain causing the Niger River to overflow its banks. About 100 homes have been destroyed. Now, the National Football League yesterday came to an agreement to pay $765 million to settle lawsuits related to concussions. This had been a pending class action suit brought against the league by former players who claimed to have brain diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's related to repeated concussions suffered while playing football, American football. The total cost is going to be broken down as follows: $675 million to compensate the former players and families, $75 million for medical exams, $10 million for research. All 18,000 retirees are eligible for some compensation. The payments are to occur over 20 years. Divide $765 million by 20 years, and you have $38.25 million. The National Football League brings in $9.5 billion annually. This is not even a drop in the bucket. But yet we will all watch TV and watch the NFL, so we support it. That's the news for today. No broadcast on Monday. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Tuesday.